Hi, this is Darren Pulsfer, and today we're going to talk about how to accelerate Google workloads for public sector with Intel. Just real quick, an introduction of myself. I am the Chief Solution Architect at Public Sector for Intel, and I primarily focus on multi-hybrid cloud architectures. And today we're going to talk about multi-hybrid cloud architectures and how Google Cloud has made this available to us through some really innovative technology in conjunction with Intel and VMware. So let's first talk about multi-hybrid cloud and the benefits of the multi-hybrid cloud. There are tons of benefits for multi-hybrid cloud when you start looking at it compared to your legacy infrastructure that you already have, or maybe you already have a private cloud up and running. The benefits of moving to this multi-hybrid cloud will help your bottom line dramatically, improve performance. There's lots going on there. So we broke this down into like 5 key areas. The first one is what we call agility, right? This is my ability to spin up quickly new instances, new types of workloads, and that allows me to put capabilities into mission critical applications much faster. The next one is what we call flexibility. This gives me the ability to expand as I need to or shrink as I need to based off of the different loads of things going on. So if I have stuff running in my private cloud, I need more capability or capacity, I can easily run that in the public cloud and things can move back and forth pretty dynamically. The other really key important aspect here is something we call predictive performance. Most cloud predictive performance is really hard. That's just how it is because there's other people using assets inside the cloud, whether it's network or storage or compute. So if I have highly predictable applications or workloads that I need done in a very specific amount of time, this hybrid cloud gives me the abilities to be more predictive about how long things are running, how long they're going to take by running them on dedicated servers, either in the private cloud or also in the public cloud, as we'll see. And then the last 2 here are really important ones as well. They are security and total cost of ownership. Again, security, what you're going to find with the multi-hybrid cloud approach is your secure domain spans across your private cloud and your public cloud. You have control over what's going on with your applications and your workloads. It is still your responsibility for security. And then total cost of ownership. This is a great one because I can play around with the different dials on how much things cost by how much I'm putting in the public cloud, how much I'm keeping on-prem, and what are the cost benefits. That big shift between CapEx and OpEx and all those things. You can play around with those things when you have the multi-hybrid cloud opportunity. So if I take a look at what Google Cloud is done with Intel and VMware, they have a great technology called Google VMware Cloud Engine. And this basically allows me to attach my VMware vSphere, VCF instances in my private cloud and create them in the public cloud as well. And then I can manage across those clouds my VMs. I have multiple clusters and I can easily move things across. This gives me a lot of that flexibility, agility, predictive performance, all those things. This really helps enable that across both public and private clouds. So let's take a look and see a little bit how this actually all works. So I'm going to have vSphere running, my whole VCF stack running over on my private cloud. More than likely, you've already been doing this for some time. And you're used to these tools. You've already probably built processes around them, maybe even using third-party tools on top of them to help manage things better. You've got your VMs that are well-defined, they're secure, they're auditable, all those great things that you've put decades of work into. I can now basically mirror that over in the in Google Cloud, where I have a dedicated private cloud sitting over there, which means these machines are not being shared. They're my machines. I'm running a cluster of a VMware cluster on them. And this is great because the Intel technology inside, I've already built all my VMs on Intel technology in the private cloud. Now I could easily just vMotion those over into my dedicated private cloud over inside of Google Cloud. So this gives me that flexibility moving back and forth. So pretty cool stuff, right? Because that big lift and shift of cloud migration, I got to convert all these things. I got to pick the right instances. All that's taken care of for you, right? Because you've stood up your own private cloud in the Google Cloud. That's pretty darn cool. So this stuff that we've been working on with Google is not something that's been just brand new. We've been working with Google over the last 5 to 6 years when Diane Green announced a strategic alliance with Intel, specifically around how can I provide better technology to the users of Google Cloud. So when we first went out, we looked at our scalable processors, which were our first gen. That was 5 years ago. Now, the latest gen that we have out here, the N2 instances that, frankly, Google Virtual Cloud Engine is running on, are using our latest processors, which is Ice Lake or the 3rd generation Xeon scalable processors. So you can see that we've been working with Google to optimize the infrastructure to take advantage of all the Intel goodness, the silicon that we have in there and other technologies that are embedded in and available now in a platform that you're very used to, which is VMware. So if I take a look at VMware, we've done similar things with VMware. From dating all the way back to 2006, we've been working with VMware to optimize VMware for the silicon features that we make available in our CPUs, in our NIC cards, in our storage media, all those sorts of things, all combined together to give the best experience that we can for the users of VMware with higher performance, better throughput, lower total cost of ownership, having the ability to stand up more VMs per server. All those things are tied together. In addition to, and this has really happened over the last 3 years or so, everyone's talking AI. Everyone's talking, hey, inference there and training and all. So inside Intel Silicon, there is great technology around AI like DL Boost that give us that ability to perform much faster on AI than in previous generations on CPUs. So there's some great technology that we've built in that VMware can take advantage of and also Google can take advantage of. So if I look at all those technologies, I can boil them down into like 4 major areas that GCVE is providing that you would normally maybe not have on your private clouds because maybe you're a couple generations behind. In GCVE, you're now running on Ice Lake, the latest and greatest processors, and the performance improvement, which we can talk about, is about 30% better than Cascade Lake. And those are Google's numbers, and that's running on GCVE. That's 30% boost. Chances are you're not even running Cascade Lake in your private cloud. You might be running Haswell or Broadwell or Skylake processors. You're going to see a huge performance improvement moving without putting the CapEx cost up front to do this. And this goes into your TCO that we're seeing because of the new mesh architectures that we have, the performance improvement in the CPUs. I can now put more VMs per server than I could before and get better performance. So your total cost of ownership goes way down because my workloads can run faster. I can run more of them on the same hardware that I did before, and I'm shifting from CapEx to OpEx. A big, big change there. The other thing that we get is because of VBMI, vector byte manipulation instructions, I have lower latency that's been cooked into vSphere that helps start up VMs faster, tear them down faster, improve performance, total throughput on I/O, and all that is all kind of built in. The other, and these are really cool ones, AVX 512 and DL Boost. If you're doing any kind of vector analysis, big data sets, or if you're doing AI inference or training and things like that, this is a dramatic speed up in AI over previous generations, which you may actually be having in your data center today. So taking advantage of the Ice Lake processors is a good way to go for those types of workloads. And then, as I always mentioned, previous was I have the ability, if you're already running on Intel processors, I can just vMotion over into this new infrastructure and I'm ready to go. So we're talking zero downtime. We're talking resiliency that you need in order to make your workloads, right, really hum. So the migration path, this is a great migration path if you're having any reservations about migrating to the cloud. This is a great way to go. You're already in the ecosystem. You're used to that VMware ecosystem. You get all the benefits of the latest and greatest technologies from Intel in the Google Cloud. You get that lower TCO, performance, agility, flexibility, AI enhancement, all in the Google Cloud, same workloads or new workloads. So there's a huge benefit to this, this multi-hybrid cloud architecture or strategy. So in the future, let's talk about a little bit about the future. There's a lot of great technologies, not just GCVE, but there's also Anthos, which is containerization, which can sit on top of GCVE. So I can still have that flexibility moving between private cloud and public cloud. We're seeing new technologies on the edge with edge of core strategies. There's been optimizations made in the GCVE architecture with the SAP and other solutions have been optimized to take advantage of this new hardware that's now sitting out in the cloud. So I hope you found this information valuable. If you do have further questions, just go ahead and reach out or take a look at google.cloud-com/Intel to find out more how Intel and Google and VMware are making a big difference in the way that we use cloud.